so the teachers typically have a couple of monitors, so they can share their screen, because when you share your screen, you lose some of the kids. Yeah. Well, not you don't lose them, but they don't all fit on the computer screen. So they have a separate. We put up a separate monitor. So on this monitor, they get all the kids. And when they share the screen, then they don't lose where the kids are. They can see down. And of course, in the kindergarten, there's only 7 of them at home.
How many are in the kindergarten class?
20 kids.
To one teacher or to 2 teachers?
One teacher and an aide. Now, during the COVID, there's only 12. And 2 teacher and an aide. Yeah.
So is the preschool where Emma's at right now? It's always like that. She said there's only 9 students in her class.
No, it's a little lower. 12 is the max.
Oh, so right now it's just 9 because we're at home.
Okay, Mr. G, we have 1 minute. Can we place you guys a little bit closer together?
Yeah, we're gonna have a few lights going off. Let's have somebody up ahead.
This is so laggy because they're still standing over here in this video. So these are some of the first things that you want to talk about, Mr. D. Can you see those?
Share the video link. Okay.
So you could say something like, if you know other families that would like to see the video, please share this link.
Right, sure. I got you. I'm good.
Do you need this?
Yes.
Okay. Can I put it here?
Yeah, you can put it down there, sure.
I don't have volume yet, so let me know when we're gonna go.
Okay.
It's 7. So.
She says she can hear a little.
Okay, so I think we have 17 watching now. This is going to take a few minutes, so I think let's get started.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna volume up, everybody, just so you know. Here we go.
So we have volume, they can hear us, but they'll give us the go signal when it's time to start. So how many people looking on right now? Yeah. What do you do to it? Oh, okay. Hi everybody, I'm Mr. G. I'm the school superintendent here at Foothill Christian School, and I want to welcome you to our kindergarten prospective parent tour night. We've got a family here that they're going to take the tour, so we have someone to talk to, and we just met tonight. So this is Kathy and John Perez, so thank you for being our guinea pigs tonight. And we're wearing our masks. I did have a shield that I could wear, but it was echoing, it didn't really work, so I apologize. This is the real me here, and but we're going to use the mask for safety purposes, okay? But before we go on our tour, I had a few housekeeping announcements to make. First, I just want to thank you for being here, and also if you have a friend that you think might appreciate going on this tour, and then if you could share it with them or text the link to them, that would be great. We have someone in the chat room that's there standing by to answer any questions you have. So you can start putting some questions in the chat room, and we'll get those in, and I'll try to answer those. I do have a printout in my back pocket of all of the questions that people asked ahead of time, so we should be prepared to answer all of those questions that you had. But I do want to say is we've never done a live streaming tour like this. We've streamed things before. We have a lot of technology on campus, but this was a little bit risky. So if you have trouble out there, if there's buffering issues or if there's some hiccups, please be patient, stick with us. And we hopefully it will be just fine. And we do have a pre-recorded tour that's on the website. We'll push that out to everybody. So should something go wrong, you'll have another shot at this. It's not as kindergarten specific, but we'll give you an overview, and we'll find ways to circle back and make sure that you are getting your questions answered and have all the information you need to make a good decision. Because I will tell you this, there's no decision more important, you know this, than where your child will go to school. Who will be their teachers, who will be their friends, what will they learn, what will be their influences. And I think Foothill is a great place where we nurture kids and help them develop their potential. So what I'd like to do is tell a little bit about Foothill first, and then you can ask questions, and we'll go on the tour. And a lot of the questions and that will kind of unfold as we walk through. Okay. So first of all, Foothill Christian School was established in 1964. I was not here then, but I have been here for 33 years. So I've been here for a long time. And it's been great to watch the school grow, the programs advance. And I will say, I don't think our school has ever been stronger. Got a lot of nice programs. We're big on technology and we're big on the arts. And I'll explain those as we go. We're fully accredited with 2 different accrediting commissions. And that lets you know our teachers have their credentials, that our library has enough books. We have a credible library. I think you'll enjoy seeing that. And so all of those kind of good housekeeping seal of approval is there for families to know that our curriculum meets or exceeds state standards. So you can have that reassurance. In fact, Foothill is a great place to start. Some say it all starts here in kindergarten. And then as they work through our program, we like to say from here, your child can go anywhere. Our kids get into the high schools of their choice. They do very well on those high school campuses and beyond. So that's just a real brief thing. And so what questions might you have initially about the kindergarten program?
To you guys, this campus specifically, it goes to what grade?
This campus is TK through 8th grade, okay? We're standing in the primary grades hallway. So kindergarten classes are down the hallway. Looks like it's pretty long, huh? You don't realize how big this building is. So kindergarten through 3rd grade is here. 4th and 5th grade is in our next building next door, where our gymnasium is, and we'll go over there in just a minute. And our middle school is upstairs, along with music room only. Maybe they have to get to work, so they only need the morning. Some only need the afternoon. Some need both. Some just need it occasionally. So we have programs for each of that. So when you look at the rate sheet, which will be posted on the website tomorrow, you'll see those different programs. And so when you begin to register, you should identify one of those. You can always change your decision, or you can always adjust it, but that's all there for you, okay, with that. And so what happens is here, sometimes the kids, like after school especially, well, what do? They may go to like a homework room, so they get some homework done. They may have arts and crafts, they have games, they have all kinds of fun activities. There's even, we can't see it tonight because it's dark outside, but there's even a little mini putt-putt, a little putt-putt course out there. A lot of options, and we don't make the kids go to any particular one, like a rotational basis. They get to pick where they want to go. Unless you tell us that you want them in the homework room, we'll make sure they get to the homework room. Yeah. But most of the kindergarten homework comes from packets, and they return the packets, and so that kind of happens. Would you need, if you don't mind me asking, I know it's a little private, we're public here with all that, but would you need childcare, do you think?
Maybe in the morning.
In the morning,
yeah. But even if they don't go to childcare, is the drop-off still here, or where's the drop-off for school?
There's out by the plaza. Some people will get comfortable with, I just drop them off, there's someone at the curbside, and they open the door and greet them. And it's that's a good question, because it's a little different than the preschool. Preschool, you have to sign in. But here, you don't have to sign the kids. We check them in as they come. So someone's there to get them in the car line, and then make sure they get in here safely and they get checked in. However, you can bring them in too, and most, especially at the beginning, you're going to want to do that. You're not going to just say, hey, go. You know, you're going to make sure everybody's comfortable. And some people do, oh yeah, that's fine. So you can walk them in, or you could drop them off. Yeah.
And then as far as I know, where she's at now, they have the bright wheel up where they'll send pictures, you know, throughout the day. Sometimes, you know, is that something that you do also for the kindergarten, or is that kind of just?
Yeah, the bright wheel, you like that?
Yeah,
that bright wheel's really nice. Yeah. Well, we have a similar version. It's called Red Web or Fax. They're changing their name, but same kind of thing. So it's a great communication tool. Grades are posted there. Lessons are there. Homework, different things are there. So it's a great connecting point.
Okay.
Yeah. But you know, while we were talking on childcare, I should mention, some people are like, well, how do I know I need it? What's the school hours? So kindergarten starts at 8:30 in the morning, and it ends at 2:30 in the afternoon. You have a half hour before school starts to drop your child. It's okay to ask your child's name?
Emma. Yeah, Emma.
Emma. Yeah. So you have a half hour, okay, before or after, before 8:30 to drop her off, no charge. And then you have about 20 minutes after school to pick her up. And that's kind of works the same way. And teachers bring the kids out to the car line, and they're there, they hand them off to you, they have a quick conversation, and then, but if they need childcare in the afternoon, then they would just go straight to childcare. Yeah. Okay, good on that? Okay, all right, so we're going to go over to the TK room, transitional kindergarten room, okay? Great. Hi, Ms. Hall.
Hello.
Okay, Ms. Hall, this is Kathy and John Perez. This is Jessica Hall. She's our TK teacher, transitional kindergarten. So we're going to spend a little time talking about this because I know that was a big question that came through our people when they registered, put that down as a key question. And so TK, several years ago, the entrance age for kindergarten started 5 in December. But then it changed, and they made it September 1st. So children who have a birthday on or before September 1st, if they're 5 on or before September 1st, then they are age eligible for kindergarten. If they have a September to December birthday, that quarter, those 3 months, then they would be eligible for transitional kindergarten. So that's the age cutoff. But let me take a minute to say that this is an important decision because some people want to know, is my child really ready for kindergarten? Do I want to give them a bonus year? Because sometimes the gift of time, if they have a late birthday, like in the summer, like an August birthday, well, they're age eligible, but are they developmentally ready? And so we do screen, we do an assessment of all of our incoming kindergartners and TKers. And so that helps us to it's done by a third-party educational specialist group. They come out. That test date is March 6th. And so as people begin to enroll, register, and apply, we'll talk about that later, then they would get a confirmation to be invited to be in that assessment time. And right now, everything will be COVID safe and all of that. So we want to make, just because a child is age eligible doesn't mean they're ready. I mentioned that. And so that assessment will help us. I want to encourage all the families, listen to your kindergarten teacher. If your child, especially if they have a later birthday or if there's concerns about readiness, they're experienced. They've seen kids over all the years and they kind of know that range and they would be honest with you about it. And then we'll help guide you through that too. Because once they test, then we kind of see, and then we would have a discussion. If it looks like everything's fine, everything's, teacher's recommending it, the test is good, we just move forward. But sometimes we want to have a conversation and help our parents make the right decision for their child. I will say this, I've never had a family who chose to give their child a bonus year come back and say, I wish we didn't do that. Never. But I have had some families who chose to push them ahead. They were not sure, they were a little reluctant, but for various reasons, they went ahead and did it. I've had some of those families come back and say, you know what, I should have listened to you, Mr. G. It would have been better to have waited. And that's a tougher road, but we'll talk families through that if that's kind of the need, okay? So that's a key thing to mention. But Ms. Hall, I think a lot of people want to know what's different. Tell us a little about TK, and then if we could learn what's different between TK and kindergarten. And then a little bit after that, we're going to say what's different between TK and advanced advanced preschool, because the advanced pre-K class at Route 66 is still available to those kids who have a September to December birthday. And so parents have to decide, do I want another year at the preschool or do I prefer the TK? So a little bit about the program, we'll compare it to kindergarten, and then we'll talk about the Route 66 program.
Sure. Well, TK is basically designed for our youngest kindergartners, we'll call it, almost like a little junior kindergarten. So the kids that come to TK typically have those September, December birthdays, or they have a summer birthday and they're just not quite developmentally ready for kindergarten yet. So in our TK class, we are going to build lots of independence, lots of confidence, as well as learn all our ABCs and numbers. All that stuff comes into play too. But the big thing is really just getting that confidence and getting to know how to do school. It's a really good transition before they go to kindergarten. Every little one that I've had in here that has gone to kindergarten has just excelled in kindergarten because they're really ready. Mm-hmm. They know the school, they know the faces of the teachers here, and they know kind of what's going on the campus. They know the rules of the playground and such. So we do a lot of what kindergarten is going to do in regards to schedule. So we're going to have daily math, we're going to have daily language arts and phonics. They get music class and PE and all of those different enrichments as well in TK that they get in kindergarten. But a lot of the curriculum is going to be more foundational settings. So they're just kind of beginning to learn the concepts, be introduced to things like, for example, would be money. So they might be recognizing money in TK, but once they get to kindergarten, they're going to start being able to add up values of money. So we're all about foundational skills in here, starting to introduce the concepts, and then in kindergarten is where they're really going to master those skills and be able to use them in different ways. Anything else about kindergarten?
Do you have a question about that at all? Yes.
We do have some questions from parents about class sizes.
Okay, great. Okay. Well, in this classroom, we have, it's kind of like a preschool. We treat it like a preschool. Usually it's 12 to 1 and an 8, but we would go no more than 18, right? With an 8, okay? And how many do you have this year?
I have 12.
12, so it works out great. And then kindergarten, it's 20 to 1. One teacher, 20 kids, which is a good ratio, and then they have an aide as well. Sometimes they share an aide, but right now, every TK through second grade teacher has an aide right now.
Is there homework in TK?
TK does not have homework. We have a reading log. So this reading is the most important skill for our little ones to be doing at home. So we just have a reading log, no homework.
Yeah, but I will say in the other grades that our philosophy on homework, we know that reinforcement at home is good, but we also want them to be kids. So we here at Foothill, whatever the grade is, as they get older, of course, there's going to be more time on homework, right? But we prefer quality, not quantity, not just busy work, but we do find that those kindergartners, they like to write, they like to try things. They're eager to do it, but we try to make it reasonable. We want you to have a life at home. Reading to your child, them reading, other kinds of activities are very important also. So we've taken a reasonable approach to homework throughout the board, throughout all the grades. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So one thing about this campus is that, let's talk a little bit the difference between the advanced pre-K program over at Route 66, or here at the half day, versus TK. So I'll say a few things and I'll let you add it. So over here, our kids wear uniforms, and that kind of feels cool. They like wearing those uniforms, as cute as can be, and they don't take a nap. Okay, the pre-K, advanced pre-K class, they still take a nap. Here they do not, TK or kindergarten, no naps. And then they also, we have enrichment teachers, like the kids would go to the library with the librarian, they go to music with the music teacher, and they have different enrichment classes. And it's not that they don't do those enrichments at the other campus, at the preschool, but we have teaching specialists for that, and they rotate to them on different days of the week. Okay. Well, what else might you add?
Yeah, I would say the curriculum is different than the preschool curriculum. Our curriculum in TK is more geared toward kindergarten. Our math curriculum actually is a kindergarten curriculum, so we have really strong math skills that kind of come out of TK. But the biggest thing is going to be the schedule of the day. You spoke to the enrichments, and a big thing about going to an enrichment is that they have to separate from their teacher. You know, they're not eating lunch in the classroom. There's not a bathroom in the classroom. They have to be more independent. If you look around, this feels more like a classroom. Each student has their own desk. They're in charge of their own supplies, so they have to kind of gain that independence and responsibility of taking care of their own supplies as well. Yeah. So there's just a little bit more independence. They have to be able to separate from teacher more and being able to kind of handle themselves on the playground. I'm also not on the playground with them, so there's child care workers. They're always cared for. But I would say just independence is a big one.
And you can kind of see our shields. The kids have the shields, the face shields for some of the COVID protections and all of that. So, okay, thank you, Ms. Hall. We're going to make our way to a kindergarten class, and then we're going to go upstairs to some of the specialty classes. Okay? Yeah, we contact about help. We want to make sure that they're doing that, especially for the search. To really step up their concerns about making sure we're being as safe as possible. When they're behind, at this young age though, when they're behind their shields, if they need to pull their mask down, that's okay. We're not mask police. When they're in a close proximity, or if they're in the hallways, absolutely. But when they get in the classroom, they need to breathe for a little bit. That's okay. They've got to do that.
As far as the assessment, is that done here? Do you bring your child here, or do you have to go like to another off-campus for the assessment?
Test.
Oh, no, it doesn't, thank you.
Oh.
The assessments are here. We
Okay.
have about 7 to 9 proctors. The test takes, I call it test or assessment, takes about 20 minutes to a half hour.
Okay.
You will get the invitation, and there'll be a link to sign up. You select, there'll be like 7 to 9 proctors. You select the time that works for you. And then, first come, first serve. So we have enough to accommodate everybody, but you get to pick the time, and it's here. If you miss that date, then you have to go to Huntington Beach to their offices to get that test.
Okay.
So it's best to do it. Yeah. Okay, come on into kindergarten class. Well, I like this. Welcome to the world of kindergarten. It's a jungle in here. I don't know. Yeah, so this is a kindergarten class, and just want to say that, that in every classroom there's a projection unit. Okay, we have interactive smart boards, and to help enhance the learning, we subscribe to different video streamings. There's a lot. It's a great time to be teaching. And so the teachers can use that to supplement, augment their instruction. But this is where it happens. And let me just point out a couple things on the board. Ms. Hall mentioned something about money. And what's interesting is learning the values of money is really it's like the second half of the year where they really start getting into counting money. I think do some, but the teacher does here. It's January, and the date might be wrong today. But if it's January 10th, and this isn't right now, but you can make the 10th with 10 pennies, you can make it with 2 nickels, or you can make it with 1 dime. And so the kids are beginning to learn value before they really have to learn it. And the same thing with telling time and those kinds of before, after, larger than, greater than, smaller than, all those kinds of things. We have a phonics-based reading program. The kids learn certain sight words. They learn the sounds of the letters, and they start blending them together, and they're reading words just a month into school. Yeah. Is there any curriculum questions you have?
Yeah, what is it like? What's your typical day here in kindergarten for?
They spend, they do morning meetings, and that's sometimes it's this kind of thing, like it's the calendar, it's some basic math, or some time where they will kind of focus on a variety of things, and then they'll have instructional minutes for math, for reading. Some of the enrichment classes are in the mornings. They go to PE with the PE teacher, so there's just kind of rotating. They have a recess break in the morning around 10:15, 10 o'clock, 10:15. Lunches, lunchtime, there's an afternoon recess. Okay. Kind of standard school like that. Some of our publishers are Christian publishers. Some of them are other publishers that we feel are the best. We pick and choose. We don't have one set one. We have a curriculum team, and the team helps select what we think is best for schools. And usually those have a lot of teacher resources, a lot of online resources. In fact, especially in the upper grades, they have online textbooks. So the kids don't even take their textbooks home. They just go online at home. And that's really nice because there's a lot of spin-off activities for them to do as well. So we're going to go upstairs, and I'm going to show you some of those classrooms. there's our crest, so that's what's on the uniforms, the chest coat there.
And the uniforms are separate from the tuition, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
But you guys provide them or offer them?
Yeah, the uniforms, we will have some days on campus where the uniform company will come and you can get sized and order them. Or you can go to their shop in El Monte. And then once you know their size, you can actually order online and they'll deliver them here for us. It's kind of nice because the uniform company, he was doing other schools, and when we contracted with them, and after a year of being at our school, he enrolled his kids in our school. He had all these schools to pick from, and he picked us, so that felt affirming. Okay, so right now we're in the junior high hallway, and so 6th grade through 8th grade is up here. But music room is here, so the little ones come up here for music. Every child gets music, so we'll come in and tell you about that. Yeah, come on in. This is a nice room, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a nice room. So I mentioned that we're big on the arts. So let me talk a little about music. Every TKers, kindergarten, they all come up here. Everybody gets music at least once a week. Starting in 3rd grade, the students have to pick which music track they want to go on. They can go on general music, which is music appreciation, and an emphasis on choral singing. They can do band, or they can do strings. And so they have to be in that track for 3 years, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. And so as a result, most of the kids choose to play an instrument. So I'd say 75 to 80% of our 3rd through 5th graders, that's when you have to go pick a track. 75% of them play an instrument. And what a great education that is. You graduate with a good, solid academic program, and then you play an instrument too. And then in middle school, they can choose. They can say, hey, music's not my thing, Mr. G. I'm done. I served my time with that. But for many, they can take it then as an elective program. And so in junior high, we have the same kind of thing, band or strings elective. So we have elementary choir. We also have a junior high drum line, and that's new, and that's kind of cool. It's pretty cool being in a drum line. Some families want to ask, and I saw that on the list, do we offer private music lessons? And we do. Now, the regular music program is free as part of what we do. Okay, but if you want private lessons, then that does cost extra. But like even as young as kindergarten, your child could take piano, or they could take even violin. Now the violin program doesn't start till 3rd grade in the courses like that, but they can get a head start if they want. And also the piano. We probably have about 50, 55 kids that take piano lessons here. So it saves you from having to do it at night or on the weekend. You do it here. It's a pull-out program. We make sure that they don't miss anything important in the classroom, but that's typically 30 minutes a week for the private lessons. Pretty standard, like you can see out in the community groups. And we also have a community orchestra that we started. It's audition only. You get 5th grade through even high school. We probably have 12 different schools represented in that community orchestra, and they're really good. A year ago, they played at Carnegie Hall. So that's how good, they're really, really good. And so we're really proud of that program. So if music's your thing, then we've got a program that would be all that you could ask for. And then, not so much right now as far as the theater arts, but our middle school theater and drama group is amazing. They go to competitions at Sacramento, not this year, of course, but the last 2 years they've gone, they've got best in show for the group ensemble. And so we've done Little Mermaid, we've done The Beauty and the Beast, we do a lot of things like that. And we also have an art teacher. So, like I said, the arts are big at our school, right? I think that's important.
You said as kindergartners, they do get music?
Yeah, they'll come up here. They come up here for
Okay.
music.
Okay.
And so it's just general music. They learn about instruments, they learn about composers, they learn about different things, and it's usually generally music appreciation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So we have a band teacher. We have 5 different music teachers. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. There's some practice rooms here where if there's groups in here, they can take their private lesson in the practice room. They're soundproofed. Mm-hmm. So junior high science lab, we're not going to stop in there, but I will say that we do have digital microscopes. What's cool about that is the kids could, if they are looking at a slide and it has a specimen, and then it's a good example of what the teacher's showing, the teacher can push it, have them push it to the Apple TV, and it goes on the large screen, then everybody can see it. Yeah. So that makes for good learning. Yeah. And they're not the eyepieces like this, they're a little display. I think you're in healthcare, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's go in here. This is our computer lab.
Hi, how are you?
This is Miss Heminger, Lauren Heminger. This is Kathy and John Perez.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. So this is our computer lab, and so Lauren teaches that. So I'll let you explain a little bit about the program,
Yeah.
especially for the kiddos.
Yeah, so we kind of start off with our like Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel, all that good stuff. And then our second trimester, we learn to code. So we do simple coding in first grade, and then moving up, we do code.org, which is really awesome. And then from there, we do all of these hands-on activities, which you'll actually see behind you right there. So in first grade, we do programming with B-bots, and those are our little, the little bumblebee robots. And so the kiddos learn to do simple sequencing, and they have little mats that they put the B-bots on and code them to get through a maze. It's hands-on, they love it. It's really neat, yeah. And then moving up through the grades, for junior high, we do a 3D printing and drones class.
Yeah, by the way, that's a 3D
Yeah.
printer over there. What's cool when the kids are printing, I'm sorry, Miss
No,
Heminger,
it's okay.
but when the kids are printing something, there's a camera on it so they can log in, and at home, they and their parents can watch, because some of them takes a while to print.
Yes.
You know? But anyway, so I love that 3D printer.
Yeah, it's really fun, and the kids get to design, different things that they want to, and we print them, and they learn how to load the machine and all that cool stuff. Yeah.
I like this one, Miss Heminger. This with the little grid there.
Yes,
You want to explain it?
Yeah,
You should do
so
that.
this is what fourth grade works on, is they create video games. And so they create
But
characters.
say it again for our audience out there in case they missed it.
They create video games.
Thank you.
Yeah, so what they do is they create the characters, the villain of the video game, and then they create the story itself.
storyboard.
They do the storyboard and the mapping, and they draw out the story. And then they actually use this grid, and they build the characters. So one of the characters was a hot dog, if you can tell from that. And then they take
I wondered what that
hot
was.
dog bun. Yeah, and then they take a picture of that. It's with the iPad. It scans it and uploads it, and it's actually like on the iPad, and they play the game. Yeah, it's really neat.
Yeah, they really get a kick out of that. Now, at the middle school, I know that that's a ways down, but we want to see the trajectory. She has a coding and robotics class and a coding competition team.
Yeah.
And so we're very proud of that. They've been very successful. Tell them a little bit about that.
Yeah, so in junior high, the kiddos have an option to join the coding and robotics team, and it's actually a virtual competition. So they go on and they have different challenges against schools all across the US, and they go on and they code their robot to defeat other teams. And they kind of battle online. And this year they live streamed on Twitch, which I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's a gaming like site. And so they live streamed it, and they could see themselves competing against other schools live, and they were like cheering for it. It was really awesome.
And so all of that happened remotely, but last year they took fourth in the western states. It's kind of cool. But if you watch them, it's like if you go to an athletic competition or a tournament, you watch the kids play. But when you go to the coding tournament, they're just in front of the computers, And so might as well go get a cup of coffee and come back. But it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, at the beginning, starts off, minimal minutes, and then it gets bigger and more in the elective programs. They have, they learn architecture through Minecraft. They have different classes like that. So, like I said, we're big on technology, and I mentioned every classroom has projection units. We have iPads. We did have one-to-one iPads at the middle school level, but we kind of moved away from that. There's enough for every child to have one, but we put them in subject-specific rooms because we've loaded them up with different software programs, AI, artificial intelligence, and
I'm trying to.
We got invited. We got invited to go up to Apple Park and be in some educator kind of classes with just our school, and so we were learning about that. So kids can dissect a frog online. They can cut a plant, do a dissection of a plant, so they can see different aspects online. So we got a lot of those software programs. Yeah, so it's good.
AR.
So this starts
AR. That's
first.
it. Augmented reality. That's what it was. Not AI. Right?
This starts first grade or kinder?
So yeah, so first grade is when we actually start the program, but I bring the kindergartners up here in third trimester, and I kind of get them used to the lab, how to use the mouse, how to put their hands on the keyboard, and then they kind of start little things from there, and yeah.
Oh, the nice
Yeah,
computers.
thank you. And it's not that kids in kindergarten don't know how to use computers, because I had my grandchild, like 4 years old, downloaded an app that I ended up paying for. I'm like, how did they do that? You know, and so they know. But
Yeah.
when you're trying to teach them certain group things and certain programs, they need to be a little bit more advanced to be able to handle it as a group. Now we have headphones in here, and we have different things, and some of the kids have to bring their own at certain levels, so they're not sharing always and that kind of thing. But a lot going on with that. So let me just take a moment and to say, we're big enough that we can offer a lot, but we're small enough that it's still family. And our philosophy is that we believe there's a genius in every child. Every child is gifted at something, and it's our job to help identify that and then nurture it and then watch it grow. So that's why we have a good music program. Maybe that's their thing. Maybe they're going to be a songwriter. Maybe they're going to be performer. Maybe they're going to be an actor or a performer. And we've had kids that go through our program that actually got parts. Cassie Tittle just got a part in commercials or in shows. And so maybe not everybody's going to be a coder. But if they are going to be a coder, we want to have a program that facilitates that and puts them on that trajectory. And so maybe they're going to be a good writer. Maybe they're going to be an author. We have a strong writing program. So that's our philosophy. We want to have things for the kids to identify those talents and grow. Yeah. So let's go over to the library, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Nice meeting you.
Room looks really nice.
Thank you.
I like that sign. Be bold or italic, never just regular. That's good. Okay. So this is a nice room, huh? This is my favorite. I think my favorite room. Well, computer lab's pretty awesome. And let me just say, I'm watching the clock, and we were hoping to be done in 40 minutes, so I will be kind of quick here, but I want to go over to the gym in just a few minutes, and then we'll wrap up over there, okay? And then if you have any final questions, or if someone else has a question who are watching it via the streaming, we'll do that. So this is our library. Our librarian's been with us for 20-some years. She's just amazing. Our card catalog system is online, so you can look and see what books we have. The librarian gets to know the kids, gets to know their interests, and then helps kind of present them with other authors and books that they see things they might like. Some schools have Accelerated Reader. Accelerated Reader is a program where we assess the students' reading level. There's a Lexile number that's associated with that. And I was trying to see if there was something that showed that. Yeah, see that chart over there? That has Lexiles, and they're color-coded. So certain books, especially if they go, oh, if it's a pink label, I know that's a book I can read. And that's a nationally kind of standardized thing. And so kids read books in those levels, and they take comprehension tests after they read the book, and they get points for that. And then we kind of track those points to make sure. The main thing is, the more you read, the better reader you become. It opens up a world of adventure and imagination. So we want our kids to be good readers. It's so foundational to all their education. So they're in here. They come up here. The TKers and the kindergartners all come up here. It's open before and after school. Parents will come up. The kids will take tests. The librarian sets out some coffee for the adults, not the kids. I mean, it's a Starbucks generation, but we do draw a line. And so there's different computers where they can take the test. They can take the test in their classroom. Sometimes the teachers will take them to the computer lab. Now that doesn't kick off right away in kindergarten because they're still learning to read. So, but it does kick in at some point, yeah. Nice room, huh?
It is,
Yeah,
yeah.
very pretty.
Okay. stop here real quick. I wasn't going to, and I'm trying to be sensitive to time. But if you look at this wall, this is some faith in action program. So in our school, it's Christian school. So we're all about helping the kids learn about Christ, learn the Bible stories. They have memory verses. They go to chapel once a week. Every grade level has a faith in action program that they've adopted. All the way to the point where as they get older in the middle school, they can do more. So our 8th graders every year, except this year, go to the Dominican Republic. They help serve at the Manny Mota Foundation. Manny Mota is a former player and coach for the Dodgers. His granddaughter went here. And so we go down to the DR. And we take clothes and shoes and medical supplies. Some doctors often will join us if they have kids in the school. So we help with the foundation. We've adopted 2 small Christian schools right in that little neighborhood, and then also an orphanage down there. So when the kids go down there, a couple of things. One, because we teach Spanish in the middle school, and that's a strong program. They learn, first of all, with Spanish, they know more Spanish than they thought they did, and they knew. And when they get back, they're really eager to learn. So our kids, when they graduate in the Spanish program, they're more than ready for high school, usually Spanish too, and they're on the road to becoming bilingual. That's the goal. But here's what the main thing they learn. They learn that it's more blessed to give than to receive. You can't tell a 13-year-old that. They have to experience it. And so, and they do. And we've had story after story where parents come back and just talk about how life-changing, and the kids tell us how life-changing that trip was. So every grade level has a different program. Some of the kids do things to help support the DR trip, but it's a pretty big part of our school.
Can you talk about the chapel? What is that?
Yeah, great. So chapel, we do it in the next room over. It's a large multi-purpose room, and we have chapel, TK through 2nd grade have chapel together. 3rd through 5th grade have chapel together, and then our middle school has chapel together. And we break them up by age because, middle schooler and a kindergarten are different worlds, right? And so then they sing. Sometimes we have guest speakers, and kind of like even at the preschool, they do chapels over there with the kids. And the kids really look forward to it. Yeah. I want to stop here too. This is the office of our, and this was a question that came from people out who were streaming. They want to know what kind of support services do we have kids that might be struggling, okay? And so tutoring is always available, but we have an SST coordinator. That's a Student Success Team Coordinator. She's a reading specialist, and she's an intervention specialist. So if a child is struggling, then the teacher would maybe say, hey, can you observe? Can we do some assessments? Can we figure out how we might help this child? And we bring the parents in on that at some point when we realize, okay, this needs to be a partnership, right, home and school. And so our philosophy on that is catch them before they fall. So if they need help, she'll have kids sometimes one-on-one, sometimes one-on-3, depending. And then usually after a trimester or sometimes maybe the whole year, we catch them up. And that is huge. And then if a child has something that might be a little bit more like severe or something, then she's the liaison with the school districts, and she helps arrange for any kind of testing that needs to take place. But there's a program to support struggling students. In the middle school, the kids that struggle are often kids that they lack the organizational skills, the executive functions. So like they do their homework, but then they don't know where they put it. And so we have to help them get them organized. Here's some of our, that's our teacher's lounge.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's actually, isn't it nice?
Might have to come work here.
Yeah, and then there's a workroom right off of that. So there's some of the awards the kids have gotten from Carnegie Hall and different things. Our junior thespians, I was telling you about them. Mm-hmm. And then here's some of our trophies. The sports, our school's in a sports league, but that really starts with the middle school. They start playing other schools. I'll tell you more about that over the stop here real quick, okay? Because sometimes people ask about, I'm just stopping where I think it makes sense. Sometimes people ask about campus safety, okay? And so every classroom, and we're not in the classroom here, this is the office, but the doors stay locked, but there's this little metal mechanism, that little strike arm, that when it's in the down position, it keeps that door from latching. The handle's locked, but the kids all, and this is every classroom, it's like this. But the kids know, just pull on it, opens. But if there was an active shooter, or God forbid, then the teachers can pull this down, and then the door would cinch closed. Because in Sandy Hook, what they found, and it's true of our school, is that the teachers had to go into the hallway, into harm's way, and fumble with their keys under stress to try to lock their door. And so a lot of schools have changed their locks to be different, locked from the inside, but this strike pad does exactly what we need to do. Also, in every room, there are pull-down screens. They go all the way down. So what the teachers do when there's a lockdown, and we practice this, we don't freak out the kids or families, but the teachers know, they pull that down, they move the strike pad, and they go over to the corner of the room, and everyone's quiet. And everybody in Sandy Hook who got into lockdown survived. And we've had some ALICE training, which is a group that works with schools and other agencies, police agencies, and partner with them and helping us prepare. So we've gone through, this is our second year. We were in the second year of the training. So we feel like, as sad as it is that we have to prepare for that, but it's part of our professional preparation now. And it's how we care for your kids. Okay, so those of you who are watching virtually, I don't know what it looks like late at night like this, but here we go. We're going to go over to the gym, and we're going to wrap it up there, okay? So, you know, here's all of the gates, there's gates all the way around. You can see the playground over there. That's K3 playground. Oh, okay. So kindergarten and first grade have recess together, second and third have recess together, and then the older kids have it over here.
Oh, okay.
So we don't mix the grades that way. However, some people ask, do we have buddy programs? And we do. We have reading buddies, where some of the 8th graders will read to first graders, or 6th graders with kindergartners. It's all, you know, it's done in the classroom or in the library, and they connect. And it's kind of cool because when they see them somewhere on the campus, sometimes it's like a little brother, little sister. You know, it's really, really cute. You know, we do a hot lunch. We have our own kitchen, and in the hot lunch program, it's the same catering company, but they cook it here, and they serve lunches here. It works similar to how it works at Route 66. So that's something that our existing families from the preschool would know about.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's kind of it's not a real big campus, but it's, you know, it's we got a lot of nice facilities. We're very proud of our program. We think that you know, I can't think of a better place for your children to and you know what, you're entrusting your child to us, and in essence, we become part of the family. It's not just education. We're building memories. The childhood they get is the one you give them. And so believe me, my kids are grown, and I said, did I do okay as a parent? You know, and you don't just do okay. You want to do your best. And I think Foothill offers one of those best opportunities. And the time goes by so fast, and you don't get it back. And so we hope, trust that next year we will not be in a COVID environment where we have to do the distance learning and the hybrid. Some people ask that question. We are doing hybrid learning and distance learning very well. I will tell you, almost daily, I get a lot of people that tell me, hey, my neighbors, they go to such and such a school, Mr. G, they're not even coming close to what you guys are doing. We've got all the technology to make that happen. The teachers have gone through training. They've embraced it. This is our reality. And the continuity of learning has happened. Kids are learning. We even bought We even bought online assessment tools so that the teachers can get a more authentic assessment remotely. You can always do the assessment in person, but they've got some things they can do remotely. So we really stepped into that space, and I think it's exemplary. And I put our program up against anybody's when it comes to the distance learning. Hands down. Teachers have been phenomenal. Yeah.
And do you think by fall, do you think the schools will be open for in-person classes, like as far as, at least for kindergarten?
I think so. I think you look at the science, and that more and more are saying some countries they are open already. And so I think when the vaccinations start to get more expanded to the adult community, that we're going to see it. We have about 100 kids on campus right now in groups of 12 in those classrooms in different places. But that's going to even open up a little bit more. So we're going to be open it to a little bit larger, where all the kids can come on campus on a rotation basis. And I don't know that it will open up fully this year, but I think everyone's anticipating that the fall it would be. We've been foiled by COVID before, but I think we're going to see the light at the end of the tunnel on this. If it had to be some version, I'm telling you right now, there's no better place to do this. I've got a couple phone calls from families who have friends that attend here, and their kids do not. Mr. G, can you get them in? They're desperate. The kids aren't learning anything. Now, that's not true of everybody, but their kids are just, they feel like they're just falling behind. And I don't think our kids are. Yeah. So what's next? So starting tomorrow, you can go to our website, foothillchristian.org, and you will see under the admissions tab, you will see a new student, and it's like apply new student. And there's a two-step process. One, you have to, whatever the grade, people have to apply, kind of like the university model. You apply, and then you later get accepted. And so there's a small fee for the application. You have a lot of information you have to type in. Now, families that have been here already, all those forms come pre-populated. But initially, you've got to spend the time to do it. And then we get all that information, immunizations and things like that have to be documented. And then we will, Suzy Esquivel, Suzy will be in touch with everybody, probably who even are viewing tonight. They'll be in touch with them, assisting them, helping them in any way. So you go online, apply, upload any documents or bring them in as needed, and then we will get back to you about setting up the testing, that testing date, which will be on March 6th. That will be by invitation only, but there's plenty of time. And so we have 3 kindergarten classes, 20 in each, and they fill up. So if you take care of things in this January, February timeframe, you'll be okay. That typically is how it's worked. If you wait till like after March, if people wait after then to make a decision, the chances are likely they'll go on a waiting list. Every year we turn students away. And so, but again, if people do it on time, it won't be a problem. The rate, and so when you go on that, the rate sheets will be there, the child care program, frequently asked questions, and it's pretty intuitive, and I think people should do fine with it, but Suzy will be there to help. Okay?
Thank you.
All right, well, this is us, so thank you again for coming, and those of you who hung with us, looks like it was about 45 minutes or so a few minutes longer than we,
Do you want to take more questions, or?
Are there any more questions there? You guys have time to hit?
Yeah.
Is there any more questions out there?
Yeah, we have a few more.
Okay,
We had a few questions about Common Core
Common Core, yeah.
and what kind of curriculum we use.
We, as an accredited school, we have to have a strong curriculum. We're not required to have Common Core, okay? And there are some elements of Common Core that we say, you know, that makes sense, because Common Core emphasizes critical thinking, multi-step problem solving, a real-life application like story problems. Those are good. But sometimes it goes too far. It's like 2 + 2 is 4. I don't need to show it 5 different ways. And so what we do is we go for best practices, okay? And we kind of like eat the meat, throw away the bones, right? We can do certain things. So our math program has elements of Common Core, but it's not Common Core. but it truly does have, and it's not easy because those multi-step, higher level thinking type problem solving skills are embedded in there. But like I said, we're not going to waste time, you know, like I said, 2 + 2 is 4. I don't care where you're at, right? So we pick and choose curriculum that we feel is best for our school.
A few people have asked if their children are attending the preschool, are they returning students or new students?
New students. Everybody who isn't currently in our TK through 8th grade program, they have to apply as a new student. Yes.
Let's see. Susie's been doing pretty good answering all these questions. You already talked about the cafeteria.
We talked about the food services program. Mm-hmm.
So they get their food here, and then where do they eat lunch?
Oh, yeah, we didn't get a good look at it because it's
Oh,
out
but
on
it's
the
over
playground.
there. It's on the playground. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
there's awnings there. They eat outside. On rainy days, they would eat in their classroom. The junior high, maybe we could peek out there in just a second. Let's do that real quick. This is, it's dark and we won't be able to see it, but they have their 4th through 8th grade have their own eating area here. So they come out here, get their lunch, and they go out to the patio. The little kids, though, they deliver the lunch
Oh,
to
okay,
them.
that's my next
Yeah,
question.
so they deliver the lunch to them. Yeah.
And it's like same ordering on my school account,
Yep.
same thing? Okay.
Same thing. Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of people don't know that Hope's Italian Catering, the owner's from Italy. So I will have to say, like, you know, I would never, ever buy a lunch, a spaghetti lunch from the school cafeteria before. But this guy's from Italy. I mean, it's so good. It's okay to eat the school spaghetti, you know. So he really does a good job giving it. Let's take a peek. We could have turned the lights on, I guess. Can I scoot this way just a little bit? Yeah. We could have turned the lights on. I wasn't thinking about coming out here. We don't have all the tables out right now. We don't have as many kids. We kind of kept it a little open. There is a playground back there for some of the older kids.
This is all gated?
That's all gated. Yeah. This actually has a nice campus feel to it back here. Yeah. Now the kids on this side, you know, 4th and up, they don't just order the lunch of the day. They can go in and order a la carte things. They go into the kitchen where they cook it, and there's a menu board. There might be apples on the counter or yogurt. They just can pick and choose. It's like a nice, kind of like a little restaurant. Yeah. It's a beautiful night, isn't it? Chloe?
Nice.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice. It's nice in front.
Okay, so yeah, we sometimes do events out here too. Put on the lights, and it works out really good. So I know these bleachers are a couple years old for us. There's some set down there, but one person asked, do you have to do community service hours? Do parents have to volunteer? They don't have to. You're welcome to get involved. We need room parents, we need helpers, and there's a place for you, okay? But it's not required. And we don't sell candy bars or gift wrap. We basically have an annual fund campaign. We say, here's what we're trying to raise money for. One year, we raise money for the bleachers. One year, we raise money for this gym floor. We are always trying to we always need new technology or something for the theater group. So there's needs. So the tuition funds the operational budget, and we really count on people to pitch in. And we don't tell people how much to give. If you can just pitch in, if everybody does something, then we'll be able to reach these goals. And that funds the margin of excellence, right? We can only do so much with tuition, and we want to keep it as low as possible because that's not a tax write-off. But the donations would be. And so that's how we try to advance our programs through that kind of, and people are very, very generous and kind, and we've been able, even in COVID, we've had some nice, our annual fund did very well. We were taken back by people's generosity. Not everybody can, you know, given their situations, but we're really surprised by that grace. Any other questions? Are we good online?
Yeah, I think we're good. Susie's
Okay,
answered
well,
most of them.
thank you for being here so that you could ask the questions. We could tell you our story and our program so that others out there could benefit from it. So really appreciate it. And thank you. I think we're going to push some resources to you. And let me mention that there's a video that we created with the gal the educational specialist who does the assessments. And we did a little interview back and forth about what that assessment looks like. That's on the website, okay? And so we're going to make sure that we identify that, push that to our families. So those who are in that TK, kindergarten, they can say, okay, look, I want to learn more about what that's all about. And a lot of families will say, my child's age eligible, but I want them to get that bonus year. And it's like red shirt, like in sports, sometimes they'll red shirt, meaning they'll keep a player out for a year so they can grow and develop. And that kind of applies to a student's academic journey too. Because if they're confident, if they're ready, if they're meeting with success, there's a tape that starts playing in their self-esteem and in their world. And that tape, when they're ready, says, I like school. School is fun. I'm smart. But if they're not ready and they're stressed and they're not meeting with success, then it's like, I don't like school. This is hard. I'm dumb. And so we want to make sure that kids are appropriately placed. So I went back to that because I know that's a big question for some people.
Thank you, Mr. G.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, God bless everybody. Thank you. We're going to sign off. I don't know what that looks like. Sign